outside the door here, and people who loved him tell me he was deeply devoted to his work, helping coach up kids and make them more confident, and giving back to West Denver.
Good. He was a good person.
When Alejandro Romero thinks of his brother, Joaquin,
Not only was my brother, but he was my best friend, and just
he misses him so much it's difficult to find words at times. 35-year-old Joaquin was killed on Sunday morning by a hit-and-run driver just minutes away from the business he started, his second home, Tepera Boxing Club.
this gym, right? Like that was his baby, right? He didn't have any kids, and
Joaquin took those kids under his wing, making boxing affordable and giving them a much-needed place to go. And his passion is clear from this video he posted on YouTube.
My goal is to provide a home for anyone to train in a fun, safe environment through the sport of boxing.
Longtime friend Francisco Martinez also knows that passion firsthand.
There's like a magic presence of seeing Joaquin around kids.
The two grew up together, saw each other through hard times.
We'll finish a little bit more of that. So there actually was, they said that they caught the guy, the driver of the SUV. They have arrested him, 23-year-old Omar Delgado, but they said that he's facing charges of motor vehicle theft and vehicular eluding. So he stole the vehicle. Was he actually the one that was in the vehicle when it was being stolen? And they're saying they haven't connected it to him, except for, they arrested him in the vehicle. So CBI, they said that Delgado was arrested in 2015 for DUI and careless driving. Omar Delgado, around 2 a.m. Sunday, DPD said a driver in the same, or identical SUV hit a man in the 600 block of South Eliot Street. And that was Joaquin Romero, 35-year-old Joaquin Romero. So it sounded like he was just being dropped off at his home, just right down the road in an Uber. The Uber driver, dropped him off at his home, and then this guy just drove right next to him. Who knows what the hell was going on or what the hell happened? Maybe Joaquin, Romero saw some bullshit and tried to, do something, or maybe the guy just ran him over because he was just trying to get away or some shit. I don't know. There's a photo of the SUV that was leaving the area. It looks like a boxy SUV. At first, I want to say it looks like a Hummer. So it's leaving the area after the incident. People said he's really good and he's really nice. So 23-year-old Omar Delgado apparently was in the vehicle or arrested with the vehicle. But they're saying, I guess, they don't have a picture of him in the vehicle as he was doing it. Because it says no connection. He has not been connected to the hit and run. But the vehicle was identical. So he opened up his boxing club in 2013. That was 9 years ago. Tepera Boxing Club. They said it was his second home. So he's a pillar to the community. He's a great friend, a mentor. He was hit by a driver of an SUV around 2 a.m. on Sunday. A GoFundMe page says he's a coach and a competitor, community advocate, West Alameda Avenue. 35 or 36. Struck in the 600 block of South Eliot Street around 2 a.m. Pronounced dead at the scene. Just trippy. Now, this in Colorado, they've arrested this guy, and there's crime of violence enhancers. And so there's like a whole slew of, criminal violence violent crime enhancer. So if you assault somebody, right, you punch somebody, then they'll double your sentence because it's a crime of violence. But for vehicular manslaughter, not a crime of violence. They will not double the sentence for that. That is not a crime. That is not entitled. You could smack somebody, and that's a crime of violence that's entitled to the enhancer. But if you run somebody over and you murder them and you kill them because you were trying to steal a vehicle, well, that's not a crime of violence. The whole, that Cuban immigrant thing, it wasn't because he, killed people, it was because he assaulted people. the assault was the crime of violence. The vehicular manslaughter wasn't, according to, the legal definitions. So R.I.P. Joaquin Romero. R.I.P. Joaquin Romero. If that's the guy who did it, then hopefully there will be connections made and they will put him on trial. And if that's not the guy who did it, then that means the guy who did it is still out and about. And this isn't the only time that, people run over pedestrians a whole bunch of times. I've seen a bunch of these stories. And yeah, I'm gonna start covering them because those are murders. Those are fucking murderers. People are, driving people, running and hit and run and then taking off and shit. What can you do? How can we prevent some shit like that? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Thou shalt not murder. That's been good law for over 3,400 years. The Old Testament, the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. 3,400 years. It's also obvious natural law. You can't go around. You can't just go around murdering people with your car. What the fuck? So R.I.P. to the guy, and hopefully there's some justice. To Joaquin Romero. He seemed like an all-around stand-up guy. And what sucks is he's 36, so that's the end of his chapter, and that's the end of whatever he was going to become. So in a way, he's young. He's in his 30s forever. He's forever young. R.I.P. Joaquin Romero. R.I.P.